Alrighty, folks, welcome back in. We're so sorry about all these problems with the Wi-Fi. We're trying our best to keep everything under control, but there's so many things that are just out of our control. We're trying to work our way back in, but nonetheless, the Mustangs are still leading. They had a scoreless bottom of the 7th where Chris Coy was able to get an infield single, but nothing much out of that. Frank Gall fly out to right and a Braden Lucart strikeout. And Jack Schwab, I was about to say Charles Schwab. Jack Schwab out there delivering an 0-2 pitch here to Sean Bazemore to lead off the top of the 8th inning. And thank you to his brother Davis for letting us know that Jack actually did pitch a couple of weeks ago, and we looked up and found his stats. For some reason, they weren't put into the Mink League, so Jack making his official second appearance as a Mustang tonight. He went 2 1/3 of scoreless relief against the Joplin Jailbirds all the way back on July 11th. That was a game that Gabe and Will got to call. I was out of town that day, but had a pretty good day. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. And so far tonight, he's only given up 1 walk and already has 2 strikeouts through his first inning of work. But he's even the count here to Bazemore, 2-2. Bazemore tonight 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a stolen base. And that pitch over the plate, but just a tad low as we got a full count to lead off the bottom of the 8th. And Clarinda looking to get their first man on for the first time this evening. Jack sitting out there on the mound. Sets and delivers. That pitch runs inside, and that's ball 4. So a 6-pitch walk to Bazemore to lead off the inning, and Schwab's got to deal with the very speedy Bazemore out there at first. Bazemore recording his 27th steal of the season back when he was last on base in the 6th inning. And folks, we've got some great people out here at the field tonight. 2,609 people making their way and enjoying their time tonight here in St. Joe. It's an awesome opportunity to see these people here. St. Joe routinely leading the Mink League in all of the attendance records. This is an average night for us, which, believe it or not, that's a lot of people. Or most of these players are only playing in front of maybe 100 or 200 people at most at their home stadiums.
Solid crowd here at Phil Welch. Jack Schwab on the mound delivers the 2-0 tonight with a runner on first. And look, the Mustangs trying to keep the lead here.
Schwab lines that one over for the head of the first baseman Little, but that's foul ball. So the count now 2-1 as that was foul by only a matter of inches. So the count's now 2-1 from Schwab. Not a very common last name, but they have a very famous bank and investment firm. As there's a pitch that's low and away. The throw to second is a good one, but that hits Bazemore on his way over. So Bazemore in with his second steal of the evening.
And he was able to get that stolen base the same exact way. Hence, just having good throws, but it's finding its way past the glove of Coy over there at short. I don't know what needs to change there to be able to make the grab, but 2 missed opportunities for out 1.
There's a hard grounder over to the left side, and Gundelfinger was playing too close on the infield dirt, and that's going to be an infield hit for Cooper Knight. So he makes his way over to first, Bazemore over to third, and we've got runners on the corners to lead off the 8th inning, and the leading run coming up to the plate in Theo Anderson. Theo tonight 1 for 3, a .495 batting average coming into tonight. Mustangs able to hold him pretty quietly. Look to do the same as there's a top mound visit up there. Mustangs leading 3-1 here in the top of the 8th inning, and Schwab after a pretty good top of the 7th, looking to get himself out of a jam here. Bazemore sitting at third. Cooper Knight sitting over at first. Knight also several steals. He's got 26 coming in, 23 coming into today. So he's another threat to run. Schwab sets and delivers the first pitch, and that goes all the way to the backstop, and that's going to allow each runner to take a base. So Bazemore going to home on a wild pitch, and Knight making his way all the way out to second. As that first pitch fastball to Theo Anderson is just out of the way of Cooper Hintz, and that goes all the way to the backstop. It's now a one-run game. Mustangs lead 3-2 after Clarinda really chipping away here in the latter innings. So a 1-0 count here to Theo Anderson with the tying run out in scoring position. Little creeping his way up from first as Anderson tries to potentially bunt, but he decides to swing and miss. Late decision there as that ball had no chance of getting hit. Count evens out at 1-1. Little's playing close to the grass on the third base side. Little is on the first base grass. Steadily creeping in. So the Mustangs have double play depth at second and short. That next play ball taken just a tad outside. So the count now 2-1. As Bazemore has given up his first run of his Mustangs career.
Bazemore, the only runner to score both of the A's runs this evening, and came across in the top of the sixth, and again here in the top of the eighth.
There's a beautiful delivery, swing and a miss on a nice off speed on the outside.
Yeah, Anderson for some reason decided to take a step back and swing. It's not, I would understand if you're trying to pull it, but there was nothing there to pull as Schwab, a beautiful delivery there.
And there's a swing and a miss of Theo Anderson. And Schwab able to record his third strikeout of his evening. Anderson did not look comfortable in that plate appearance at all.
Not at all. And a great strikeout from Schwab to get the out number one. And now
cleanup hitter Braden Olson coming on up for his fourth time tonight. He's 0 for 3 with 3 swinging Ks. There goes Knight from second over to third, and he's going to make it a stolen base for Cooper Knight. That's his 24th of the season, but Olson finding himself in an 0-1 hole as that pitch came way inside, nearly hit his toes, but not a good look for him as he's looking to avoid a golden sombrero, otherwise known as 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. That next pitch taken inside, so the count even at 1-1.
If you're the Mustangs here with a runner on third, you weren't in a situation where you needed to go get the lead runner, but now you are with only 1 out, runner on third, and Olson at the plate. He's struck out 3 times though. You watch this one inside at the hips. It's a 2-1 count.
Because you're trying to get the lead runner, all of the infielders are playing in close to the infield grass. Potential for a grounder to be thrown over to home to get the lead runner. That next pitch taken way inside, and Schwab's fallen behind on Olson 3-1 after being up 0-1 to start the at-bat. Schwab sets and delivers. And that's high for ball 4, and Olson able to take the 5-pitch walk, but that's putting a potential twin killing out there for Andrew Young, making his way up for his 4th time tonight. 1 for 3 with a single back in the second. Struck out his swinging his last time up back in the 7th. He's the first batter that Schwab faced. But an opportunity here for Schwab to get out of the inning. And there's a squared out bunt that goes straight back and over onto the netting. So the count now 0-1 on Andrew Young. Schwab's hitting a little over 40 pitches now. Has some decent length out of him. He went 2 1/3 in his first appearance versus Joplin 2 weeks ago. Currently sitting at 1 1/3. Schwab sets and delivers. A swing and a miss. Fastball high, and Young unable to hold up on that as he goes down in a hole 0-2. A softly hit out or a strikeout here, definitely what Schwab is looking for. So the tying run is sitting only 90 feet away. The 0-2 pitch. Inside, and that hits Young on the inside hand. So a hit by pitch by Schwab, and that's going to load the bases for Parker McNeil, recipient of a walk back in the 7th, and now there's a force out at every single base. Mustangs up 3-2, courtesy of a 3-run Seth Winkler homer back in the 4th. 2 runs have been able to be scraped across in the latter innings by good base running from Bazemore and timely hitting by this top of the order.
A tough outing here in the top of the 8th. 1 run's come across, standing at a 3-2 count. Umpires discussing the runner on first being hit in the hand. They're going to keep him there at first. So bases now loaded. Knight at third, Olsen at second, and Young standing there at first.
For those balls that are hit right up near the hand, sometimes they can hit the knob of the bat, which would be a foul ball. That would sting, just like as if you got hit by a pitch, but it is indeed ruled a hit by a pitch. That's the 3rd hit batter for the Mustangs tonight, or first hit batter by a Mustang pitcher tonight. That's a line down the third base side, foul by a matter of inches. Parker McNeil goes down to count 0-1.
Yeah, very well hit ball. If it would have been in fair territory, would have scored 1 or 2 runs. But McNeil at the plate, bases loaded, only 1 out.
Clarinda trying to make this game interesting as that next pitch is taken right at the top of the zone for a called strike 2. Looked to be a tad high, but called a strike by our home plate umpire. So McNeil now down 0-2, and Schwab looking for another strike, looking to record his 3rd strikeout of the evening. The pitch is taken down low and away, so the count now 1-2. McNeil, our taco batter of the game, struck out twice already, so an opportunity for even more tacos. Taco Bell's going to be pretty busy tomorrow.
I would assume so. We might even get use of it tonight.
The 1-2 offering. Swung and grounded down the right field line. Foul. Yet another ball. That's just foul by a matter of inches. So McNeil down in the count still, 1-2. Crowd getting lively here tonight as we've still got lots of people here. Over 2,600 coming and calling St. Joe their home for the evening. The pitch. And there's a called strike 3 at the top of the zone. McNeil is down via the looking K, and there's 2 outs here in the top of the 8th.
That's 200 tacos for some lucky fans here. Excuse me. 300 tacos. He struck out 3 times. McNeil struck out in the top of the 2nd, again in the top of the 5th, and here again in the top of the 8th. Like you said, Tyler, 300 tacos. That's quite a bit for Taco Bell.
You know, Parker McNeil trying to make Taco Bell go out of business tonight as he's got 3 strikeouts tonight.
If anyone tuning in by chance works at Taco Bell, my condolences. I'm very sorry.
My condolences, but also, can you hook me up with the $7 Luxbox?
Yeah, seriously. Greatly appreciated.
So the 1-0 count here on Grant Locken as that first pitch to him was yanked out to the left-handed batter's box. A nice corral by Carson Hintz. And that's lined up over the second base side out of the way of Seth Winkler, and that's going to score 2 runs. Clarinda scoring 2 and taking the lead 4-3 after the opposite field single by Grant Locken. Coming around to score is Cooper Knight and Braden Olson. Andrew Young making his way over to second base, and after the Mustangs were up 3-0, 4 unanswered by Clarinda has put them into a one-run deficit, and that is going to be it for Jack Schwab tonight. 2 runners still left to him, and we've got a new pitcher coming on to the mound. Let you know who it is when we get a chance. Looks like it might be Bryson Augustin or Seth Winkler, but we'll be right back to after a couple of minutes to give him some time to warm up on your home of the Mustangs.
Now the attention please, our pitcher for the Mustangs, number 55, Bryson Augustin. Catcher,
Joelvis Fernandez at the plate for the A's as he takes the first pitch high from Bryson Augustin, second relief pitcher for the Mustangs tonight. We saw him play behind the plate yesterday. He was catching in place of Carson Hintz against the Kansas City Monarchs for his second time as a batter this season. Sends a soft grounder over to third, and Gundelfinger is going to take it himself to the bag for the final out. A 5 unassisted ground out by Joelvis Fernandez for out number 3 here in the top of the 8th, but not before 3 runs come across. The Mustangs now trail the A's 4-3. We're going into the home half of the 8th right after this here on YouTube.
Donald Goofy assumed the starting positions. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your attendance for tonight's game. $2,609, fantastic party night at the Phil fans. Thank you. Leading it off, first pitcher, Jaden Little.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the first pitch to Jaden Little. Hit over the shortstop and over to first in time, so a 6-3 ground out to lead off the bottom half of the inning, where the Mustangs are trailing for the first time tonight. They're down 4-3 after 3 runs were able to come across there in the top of the 8th. Carson Schrack coming on up, who made the final out of the top of the 8th with the 5 unassisted ground out. Took it himself to the bag. Having a good night tonight, 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored, and a walk. Schrack was taken all the way there, didn't move the bat at all as that first pitch comes in for a called strike 1. John Lent still on the mound for his 4th inning of work, who's held the Mustangs scoreless after Nick Paulson went 4 and allowed 3 runs off the Seth Winkler homer. Schrack setting himself back up in the left-handed side of the box. Lent sets and delivers. That pitch bounces in, and Schrack able to hold off to even the count out at 1-1. John Lent having a good outing. Proving to be a difficult picture against the Mustangs. Mustangs have played him a couple times this season, and so far he's been a thorn in their side. 1-1 offering to Schrack is taken just a tad high. A nice frame job by Fernandez, but doesn't get the call there as the count now is at 2-1 in favor of Carson. Mustangs looking to tie or reclaim this lead. Carson lines that one out into left field, but directly at the left fielder, Grant Locken, for out number 2. That was hard hit ball, probably close to 100 miles an hour there. Nice opposite field hit, but fortunately directly at the outfielders. That's out number 2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Tyler Gundelfinger, the last hope the Mustangs have here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Should be seeing Bryson Augustin go back out for the top of the 9th. Gundy tonight 1 for 1 with a single, 2 hit by pitches, and a run scored. First pitch he sees is taken way outside for a called ball. The 21st best player in the entire Mink League coming into today. Good job by Gundy as he takes that next pitch right at the knees for a called strike to even the count out at 1-1.
We were talking about Gundelfinger earlier being one of the more consistent third basemen that we've seen in the last couple weeks. He really able to get it done. Now lines that one foul down the left field line.
A little bit of news here in the Mink League. Joplin going final against Nevada, winning their game. My apologies, against Chillicothe by a score of 14-4. That puts them at a full game ahead of the Mustangs. But Joplin tomorrow only playing 1 game, whereas the Mustangs have a chance. Will be playing 2. Mustangs looking for a win tonight. Win tonight would keep them in contention with Joplin to try to secure that 3 seed. It would also help their chances of potentially getting that 2 seed. Clarinda coming into today can drop no lower than 2nd. There's a flare out into shallow center field. Going out to make the catch is the second baseman, Andy Gill, for out number 3. And the Mustangs go quiet here in the bottom of the 8th as Gundelfinger's retired via the P4. We're going into the 9th inning. Mustangs needing any sort of 9th inning magic they have left, as the score is 4-3 in favor of the visiting A's. We'll be right back here on Your Home with the Mustangs on YouTube. We'll be right back right after this.
Let's go Mustangs! Let's go Mustangs! Let's go Mustangs! One more time once again, let's go Mustangs! Great job tonight! Let's go Mustangs!
Welcome back to the top of the 9th inning. 9-1-2 due up for the A's. 0-1 the count on Andy Gill, and Carroll's game also gone final. They win 6-1 over Nevada. Mustangs need to win tonight if they want to have any chance of securing the 2 seed. The count now 0-2 from Bryson Augustin to Andy Gill. Augustin able to retire. First batter he saw on 1 pitch back in the 8th, and there's a swing and a miss by Andy Gill for out number 1 here in the top of the 9th. And that's the start that you're wanting, as the Mustangs are trying to get a little bit of 9th inning magic to try to come back and win this game.
The Mustangs pitching staff, want to give a quick shout out to them. Michael Lujan, 8 strikeouts going into the into the 7th. Jack Schwab got a handful. Bryson Augustin also getting his hands on a few. Been the most strikeout consistent team tonight I think I've seen from them all year long. So huge props to them. Bryson Augustin delivers the 1-0, fouled off on the right field side for strike 1.
13 strikeouts on the night for Mustangs pitching. They're currently second in the entire Mink League in strikeouts, led by the likes of Lane Chapman and Sebastian Coleman and Haru Takakawa, who came on about halfway through the season. Probably get a good chance of seeing him tomorrow night. There's a called strike 2. Nice fastball by Augustin, who's really starting to round himself into form. He was really a kind of a mop-up guy to begin this season. Only saw him in big blowouts the Mustangs were losing. Next pitch is pulled out to the outside, so the count evened out in 2-2. But he had an outing where he went 5 1/3 innings of relief. I believe it was for Lane Chapman. And he has just been absolutely unhittable in the outing since then. That next pitch is lined out in the right field. Going back on it is the right fielder. And Gall's able to make the one-handed catch, a couple feet shy of the warning track.
I was about to say, I wasn't sure if that was going to be a broadcaster's jinx or what, Tyler. That one skied out into right, but nice catch by Gall out there to get out number 2 in the Mustangs here in the top of the 9th. You need some 9th inning offensive magic to get it done.
The Mustangs will be sending up the bottom of their order, 7, 8, and 9. Seth Winkler, Micah Kobaczewski, and Carson Hintz as we go into the 9th inning. First pitch to Cooper Knight. Squares up to bunt, but finds its way on the other half of the zone for a called strike. So 0-1 now the count on Cooper Knight. Lines that one out into deep center field, but going back to make the grab to his left is Braden Lukart for out number 3, and down go the A's quietly in the top of the 9th inning. Mustangs needing at least one run to tie this game. They trail by 1. Score 4-3 in favor of Clarinda. Will the Mustangs be able to have the magic? Tune in as we go into the bottom of the 9th here on YouTube right after this.
Well, we got to go to the Mustangs here at the bottom of the 9th. Leading it off, second baseman, Seth Whitford.
It's the bottom of the 9th, and Seth Winkler, tonight's hero so far, had a first home run of the season back in the 4th inning to put the Mustangs up 3-0. That's all the runs they've been able to muster off this A's offense. Up facing John Lent is the first pitch he sees is fouled high and back out of play. Now facing an 0-1 count. He, Kobacheski, and Carson Hentz represent the last hope for the Mustangs tonight. John Lent, 4 innings of perfect relief against the Mustangs as the next delivers that pitch just a tad high. The count now goes 1-1 on Seth. We were mentioning it earlier how he's more of a contact guy, but showing a glimpse of that power as he sent the first out of the park home run for Mustangs pitching and Mustangs hitting. That was a home run swing, but that slider gets out of his way, and count now 1-2 after that swing and miss. If you like what you're seeing, folks, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and share the stream with all your friends and family. We're trying to reach 1,065 subscribers. That next pitch taken just a tad low. Count now 2-2. Trying to reach 1,065 by the end of the night. He's currently sitting 7 people away. Go talk to weird Uncle Jackson across the street. He might be able to subscribe. The 2-2 count is lined and hitting off the roof and bouncing back into the field of play.
That rattled the stadium there high. Seth Winkler swinging for nothing but power tonight. A 3-run homer that put the Mustangs up 3-1, but since then he's lined out twice. Nice hard hit balls both to the left side, third baseman and left fielder. We'll see what he can do here on the 2-2 count.
And he lines that one back up into the glove of the pitcher, Lent. Lent had no idea where that ball was, and that just bounced into his glove. An unfortunate there. First out here in the bottom of the 9th on the 1-3 ground out. And that's going to bring up Micah Kobacheski with 1 out, 2 outs to play with. Kobacheski tonight 0 for 3 with a ground out, a strikeout, and a pop out. Kobacheski taking that first pitch inside for a called strike, so he's down on the count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed. So Kobacheski now down to one final strike. The count 0-2. A long hold for Lent. The pitch taken just a tad outside, so the count now 1-2.
Yeah, John Lent being extremely patient here in the bottom of the ninth. He knows this is an important game and needs to be able to close it out here to secure their spot. The check swing goes around. That's strike 3, so 2 outs with Carson Hentz coming to the plate.
That was a nice pitch there at the top of the zone, called strike 3. Backwards K for Kobacheski, who ends his night 0-4. And Carson Hentz, the last hope for the Mustangs, the 9-hole hitter, trying to get on base. He represents the tying run and the only opportunity to let the top of the order come around as he lines that one out into left field. And that's going to drop for the base hit. Rolls all the way back to the backstop. Carson Hentz making his way over to second base with a stand-up double. And that's the sort of magic that the Mustangs have been needing to see tonight. 2 outs from the homers hit, 2 outs with the double by Carson Hentz. And Chris Coy coming on up with a chance to tie or even win this game. Chris Coy has an opportunity to swing and miss through that strike. So no 1 count here to Chris Coy as Carson Hentz sits over there at second base. That next pitch grooves its way into called strike 2.
That one looked a bit low, and Chris is going to step aside out of the box. Trying to hold on to what's left of tonight's game on an 0-2 count with 2 outs. Hentz at second.
Mustangs trailing by 1 against John Lent, who's nearly 80 pitches in relief. The 0-2 offering is a swing and a foul ball just at the plate. Coy able to get just a piece of that. So he counts staying at 0-2. Coy tonight is 1-for-4. Had a single his last time up back in the 7th inning. Lent taking his time on the mound. The pitch. That's low and in the dirt. Hentz retreats back to second base, so Coy able to hold up there. The count now 1-2.
And pressure possibly getting to Lent just a little bit. Big situation for him here. When Coy trying to stay alive, fighting his way back.
Chris Coy battling with 2 strikes. Carson Hentz sitting at second. The pitch. Taken high. Chris Coy now facing a 2-2 count.
He's battling his way back. With the way the umpire called that second strike, I thought that would have been in there for strike 3 right at the top of the zone, but a 2-2 count to him. Lent taking his time.
We've seen some good frame jobs by Fernandez tonight, but the 2-2 offering is a soft fly ball hit out just past second base, and out there to make the grab is the second baseman Andy Gill to retire the Mustangs. Mustangs threaten but are unable to complete the comeback as they lose 4-3 tonight, and their hopes for a top 2 seed have been vanquished, but a opportunity to still host a playoff game is in their cards as they're going to be playing on Monday, whether that be versus North Missouri or Chillicothe. We have yet to see. But an unfortunate loss for the Mustangs after a late inning comeback by the Clarinda A's to win the season series 4-2. Mustangs on the year dropped to 23-15 overall, 21-14 in the Mink League. Clarinda getting their 24th victory of the season, still sitting at only 9 losses in the Mink League, 10 losses overall. And the Mustangs go into their final day of the regular season tomorrow with 2 games against the Naturals of North Missouri. Make sure to tune in tomorrow at 4:30 when our first game will be starting. You'll get to catch Will and Riley on the call. And then 30 minutes after that, and quick reminder, folks, that game will start 3-0 in favor of North Missouri, as that's how the game that was postponed about a month ago it was ended. But after that game, 30 minutes will be taken for a quick break, and then we'll be back on for the nightcap. That should be around 8:30 or 9. The Mustangs looking for any sort of hope to go into the final day of the regular season. Thanks for tuning in today, folks. My name's Tyler Angerbauer. With me, Gabe Porter, and our booth man, Nathaniel Brown. Have a great rest of your night, and let's go Mustangs.
Tracy, we have your board. Are you too far away?